if you pass the drug test, then you get reimbursed for the drug test, which I think is fair.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can apply for your welfare or whatever funds you need. Now, growing up in a small southern town, that a good portion of it, probably 20% of the population, was on welfare or low-income families that were getting government subsidized help, apartments, water, free cable, all this stuff, which used to piss me off to no end as a teenager, because there's people I went to school with who didn't work. The parents didn't work. They all lived in government projects, and they had cable. And I sat at home and didn't have cable.
That sucks.
It does suck. And I thought that was wrong, that my parents couldn't afford it, but we wasn't getting help, and they got cable.
Yeah. But the point here is people being drug tested. Like lots of people who need jobs, they have to go to a drug test.
I know. And in most jobs in America, if you go in at any point, they can come in and drug test you.
Yeah.
And you have to pass that drug test.
Some of them are, what is it? Especially if you're in a hospital or something, or you have to be, there's a random thing that is done.
I mean, there's a lot of major companies that do random drug testing.
Random drug testing. And then now people on welfare, they don't?
The reason I'm glad about this, another reason I'm glad about this, when I worked at 7-Eleven in Richmond, Virginia, I worked at a really nice 7-Eleven on one side.
Virginia?
Yeah, I lived in Virginia.
Really? Okay.
I worked at a really nice 7-Eleven, didn't have to deal with food stamps. Now they all got credit card type deals, but back then you had food stamps. Didn't have to deal with that much. And then I transferred over to a store in a lower income neighborhood, and the drug dealers would walk in with rolls like this of money, food stamps, and everything else, because they were going and buying drugs with the food stamps. And back then you didn't have to prove that you were on welfare. By law, you had to take the food stamps as cash. And of course, you could only buy drinks and food and stuff with it. But
still,
they could go to the grocery store and buy $500-$600 worth of groceries off all the food stamps they had in their roll. And they wouldn't even have to touch the cash. Or people were cashing them in, like they had a $10 book of food stamps. They'd cash them in for $5 with the dealers. And so they could go buy cigarettes and stuff. And then, or they would go buy food and stuff at the store, and you'd see these women roll up with all these steaks and all this high-end meat and nothing else. Well, they'd go back and then they'd go sell it for money and come back and buy cigarettes, beer, liquor, all that kind of stuff. So I'm glad that the credit card thing has kind of taken some of that out. I mean, I'm sure you can still get around it. And I'm sure you can help people get around drug testing, but I'm glad they're making them do it. At least they have to make the effort now. So. Yeah,
that's true. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. If these 3 states are going to do it, that's going to usher things into.
And I hope that
all of the states.
If you've been on welfare currently in the program, and you've been on it for more than 5 years, and you have to start getting drug tested every year to keep being renewed.
Yeah,
I hope to see that. So
hope to see that. All right. So okay.
So
that's what you think.
That's my soapbox for the week.
Yeah. That's a lot, too. Anyway, let's move on to some TV and movies here. One movie that I did get to watch is The Help. Did you get to watch it?
I haven't seen it yet.
The Help is it's about racism, of course. It's about African Americans who are hired as helps, and they grow up. The kids that they take care of would grow up with them, and they get old, and these kids they really love their help. So it revolves around the African American back then. I think it was in the when was Martin Luther King?
60s.
Yeah, around the 60s when he was assassinated, and it was around that time with the setting of the story is, and it's more of a story of a young upcoming journalist who thought of making a story out of these helps of all these African American women who are maids for these for the white folks in the Mississippi. I think it's Mississippi that they're doing this.
Even growing up in the town I grew up in the late 70s, 80s, there are people that still had their girls that come and help clean their house.
Oh,
they were called the girls. I still got my girl. She comes over and cleans the house.
Oh, really? Okay.
I had a black lady that took care of me as a kid. Her name was Maddie.
Maddie?
Until I ran her off.
What did you do?
I was the evil child. I ended up, my grandmother had to take me in and take care of her because I kept torturing Maddie so bad that she wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
And that's a true story. We can get my mom and ask her about that one.
Okay, we'll call
next
her
time she's on the show.
So The Help is actually out in the theaters right now. I don't know if you guys want to watch it, but it might be a contender for the Oscars. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I heard it's very good.
It's a very good movie.
I know a lot of people that's reading the book before they go see the movie, so I think I want to do that.
Yeah, and then just going through the list here.
So you've been watching?
I've been watching Game of Thrones, and I finished the 10th episode. Going back to episode 7, I think, or 8. I can't remember which one. I think it's there's a scene there where the crippled boy was in the forest talking to a slave girl. They were chatting, and then one of the servants of the kids was naked going around, and he was a big bear. And it's a big bear.
Yes, he was a big bear.
Did you see that?
A big old bear.
And he's very hung. Oh my God.
Yeah, but he's also kind of mentally handicapped, so that's why he's kind of a
movie.
servant in the household.
Servant in the house, but he is very hung. I mean, yeah, HBO can get away with this, right?
He's English. Did you see the young, skinny, cute? Well, I don't know if he's exactly cute.
Yes, I saw that too.
But his big old thing flopping around there.
These guys are just these Englishmen. Are they Englishmen?
I want to see the 3 brothers and the bastard son, the son.
Oh, the bastard son. Okay.
And then the 2 sons. I want to see them naked. Hopefully they'll work that in next year.
They
didn't show Jason Momoa naked though. I want to see his dick.
Okay. Game of Thrones. Go watch it, guys.
Right.
It's by HBO.
And if we don't see Jason naked in Conan, which is it already out? Did Conan come out yet?
Conan the Barbarian? Yeah, it's out.
All right, I just gotta go spend a Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, we have to watch it one time. I still have a lot of movies to catch up with, like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and
Aliens
and Cowboys and Aliens. I haven't watched that yet. Okay, Ray. So next show.
Okay. I watched which is kind of like The Help. I watched War Boys yesterday while I was sitting home feeling yucky. War Boys is about 3 young vigilantes huddled on the line ready to chase illegals back across the border into Mexico. They soon learned that the borderlines deep within each one of them, within each of them that each of them has to cross. They all have to cross their own borders internally, which is a pretty interesting show. Talking about The Help, the whole thing starts off talking about Mexicans as the new help.
Well,
because one of my favorite lines in the movie is the maid that takes care of the family. They call her Maria. And there's this girl there, and she comes in after all this stuff's happening, and it's like the big building up to the climax. And she says, "Maria, what are you doing?" And she said, "My name is Juanita. Maria is what all the gringos call all the maids in this neighborhood."
Oh, really?
As she picks up the gas can and starts to pour it around the house to burn the house down.
Wow.
It's a pretty interesting show. But what's really interesting about it is Brian J. Smith makes out with Benjamin Walker.
There's a gay scene?
Well, it's a gay themed movie that comes up in it. And if y'all don't know who Brian J. Smith is, he was
Are you serious?
Lieutenant Scott in Stargate Universe. And that's the scene I wanted to see between him and Davis Blue, who played Eli. No, that didn't really happen.
Oh, okay.
But it's too hot little but you know, Brian is a very hot, muscular young man with some hair, and then he was fooling around with his best friend in the movie, who was a hot young man with no hair. And the favorite line in his scene is "Turnover." I hope you enjoy this as much as I will.
Oh.
So, but you know, this is the scene I want to see between him and Eli and
I want Eli. He's
Stargate
very
Universe.
cute.
Yes. So
Stargate Universe.
So, but I was just like,
now.
oh my God, Brian is playing gay way too well. It's just like, damn, that's just hot. The two of them kissing and carrying.
Well,
so anyway,
they're paid to be actors. They're actors. They're supposed to act well.
Right. So
or
anyway,
maybe they really are.
Okay. So check out War Boys. It's a very good movie.
War Boys.
I thought it was well made.
Okay.
If y'all remember a couple years ago, the people that snuck across the border and they put them in the truck and they suffocated in the truck and died. That's an element to what kind of, I think, the writers based this movie on. So it's very interesting. So.
Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the gay, the geek, and the bizarre. Okay.
So you can't get any more gayer than this, I don't think.
All right.
I want to give congratulations to the Glee Project winners this weekend that happened yesterday. Samuel Larson, 19, and Damon McGinty, 18. cute little Irish boy. Oh my God. Both will be featured in a 7-episode arc next season for season 3. And then there was they got it down to the top 4, and the 2 that didn't make the top 2 was Alex Newell, who's a future drag diva, and I guarantee he's going to show up on RuPaul's Drag Race. He's a big old black boy, and he likes dressing up as a woman. And when he dressed up as a woman and sang "I Feel Changes" from Dreamgirls, he brought the house down. So,
oh really?
But they decided they were going to do like a 2-episode story arc with him, and Lindsay Pierce, who's the female, who's very much like Rachel in the show.
Oh, okay.
So I think they're going to put them 2 against each other. That's like Rachel against Rachel, and watch the tension happen. But it's very. I started watching about halfway in, like 4 weeks out, because I didn't want to get all into the detail of all the 12 of them they whittled down. But I wish I had now. So, but congratulations to them. I think it's going to be a great season, 3rd season of Glee. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with these 4 people. The 2 guys that won are just incredible. Samuel is just.
Okay.
He kind of reminds me of what's his name? The rocker. The black rocker.
I don't know.
What's her name from the Jefferson Son?
I don't know.
Walk This Way.
Walk This Way?
No, not Walk This Way.
Walk This
Going My Way or whatever it is. What's his name?
Listener, give it.
I can't remember. I'll think of it in a minute. I'll scream it out in a minute.
Myself.
So,
but we better move on because we're running out of time here.
Okay. All right. The next one's geek.
Next is geek. Okay. This is okay. There are 2. We have 2 geek things here. The HP touchpad. You know, HP is trying to get into the tablet world. You know, you have the iPads, you have the Samsung Galaxy Tab, and you have the Motorola Zoom, and
the
HP,
Verizon 7-inch pad thing.
Yeah,
David has one of those. I've been kind of looking at it. It's kind of cool.
Okay, and the HP touchpad was sold for $99 last weekend, and I missed it. I wanted to get it because they shipped about 270,000 of them, and only 10% were sold. So it's really bad for their business, and they don't know what to do with WebOS right now. So HP is letting it go. So they just sold it for cheap. Instead of $500, it went down to $99.
So they're all gone.
There's $100 discount and $150 discount, and then they just let's just sell it for $100.